Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. I'm Tracy, also known as MercyTiara, and today I'm working with the Brighter Days kit from MercyTiaraKits.com. And these are some supplies that are in the kit that I pulled aside to use together because I really wanted to make a page that was very pretty and soft to go with this photo that you see over to the left-hand side. This footage is from a live stream that I did with my patrons, and so the footage is a little bit different with me up in the corner there. If you're interested in seeing my sometimes marathon live streams, make sure you check out my Patreon, which is listed in the information section below. So I'm starting with some of these supplies from the kit. These are from the Wildflower collection from Simple Stories, and they came in the kit. This particular sheet of stickers came in the embellishment add-on, and I think I'm over in, yes, I was over in my stash looking in my Calyx unit for some cream and some craft paper. So I'm going with this cream, which I don't know which brand it is. I suspect it's American Crafts because it doesn't have a strip on it like the basil strips do. And then I'm grabbing a piece of craft paper from my stash as well. And this is called My Colors craft paper, and it's a little less orangey than the basil craft paper. I keep both of them in stock, and so I wanted this more cool craft paper. It's still very warm, but it's cooler than the real orangey kind. And so I'm going to mat my photo, which I've already printed up. I print my photos, by the way, using my PictureMate Charm. It's a PM 400. And that is my favorite printer these days. I definitely want to have a chunk of this moth paper that came in the kit. The back side of it is this ticked stripe, and I really love that too. So I'd like to use both of these. So I just flipped it around and grabbed a long horizontal stripe of it this way. Now I'm going to trim that down even more because it's taking up a bit too much of the page. I don't like the scale of it, but I'm going to start by trimming this cream craft paper, this cream cardstock down. I'm trimming it down to 11.5 by 11.5, which will allow me to have a 1/4 inch border around the outside edge for matting. And I'm going to use this specialty gold foil paper from the Maggie Holmes Woodland Grove collection. This came in the kit, and another piece came in the extra pattern paper add-on. So if you got both the kit and the add-on, you got two pieces of this. And I'm happy to have two pieces because I've been using one piece for fussy cutting, and now I still have this piece to use as matting around the outside edge. Here I am just pulling off little amounts of this paper just to make it a little bit smaller scale on my page. And I just use my ruler to tear in a straight line, but still get the torn edges, which adds just a tiny bit of texture to your page. It adds extra interest. Now this banner here, it says "Life is Beautiful," and I'm putting that at the bottom of the photo. I just love that gold tone. And that gold tone comes up in lots of different places in the stickers in this collection. And also I'm going to pick up on it by using some craft in this page as well. To pick up on the many blue tones in this page and also in the photo, I'm using my Faber-Castell Pitt pen. The color is Indanthrene Blue, and I love this pen. It's my very favorite outlining pen. I have the super fine version. I also have the chisel tip, but I use the super fine tip a lot more often. So outlining that paper just gives it a little bit more strength and presence on the page. And I'm not going to bother outlining the striped piece because it already has stripes and I don't care for outlining a striped piece. But I'm going to attach this border, which also picks up on that beautiful gold tone. It's a scalloped border sticker from the sticker set that you see over there to the left of your screen. And this just gives me a nice ledge. This is a very classic layout design here. I call it a ledge layout because there are usually some chunks of paper in the background, but one prominent piece that runs horizontally that becomes a ledge that holds my photo and sometimes the title and sometimes some journaling. That ledge becomes very, very handy in a page. Now, I so want to use this sweet word, although it's a very large word and I don't want it to necessarily be my title. I'm just going to ignore the fact that I like to use this as an embellishment, but I'm not necessarily calling this title something to do with sweet. I'm just using it as an embellishment and we're just going to go with it. I am going to pop it up on the page just to give it a little bit more presence. When you use pop dots like this, and I just don't want it to be sticky because I haven't decided where it's going to go, so I'm just using my powder tool to remove the stickiness of that sticker. And the pop dots, I haven't removed the backing, so I can still move that around on my page a little bit. I love this. This is one of my favorite stickers on that whole sheet, so I'm definitely going to use that on this paper, on this layout, and I'm just going to layer this, adhere this right there. And I just pulled up the cat's paw so that the cat's paw is on top of the matting of the photo, just a little detail there. And I placed the cat there because Annabelle loves cats. She grew to love cats while she was living with us because we have 4 of them. So it's a good thing she likes them. And placing that cat there also just kind of caps off that horizontal line that spans the whole length of the page. And it has the dark blue on the cat and then the dark blue on the flowers on the far right-hand side. Now, in this layout, I am mixing creams and whites because the specialty paper that's gold foil on the back, it has a white background, and many of the other things on this page are cream, including that background paper and many of the elements in the stickers. So to make sure that I'm pulling it all together, I need some more white. So I'm going to use these label stickers because not stickers, but these label cut aparts because they're white. And they pick up on some of the colors in the page, but they also add that white so that the white isn't just on the outside edge, it's also in the layout, in the layers of the layout as well. And of course, Bailey's dress is, although if you look very closely at it, it's actually cream and blue. It has a very white look to it as well. It's very bright because it was sunny. So I'm putting 3 of these labels and I'm just going to add a moth sticker that picks up on the moth pattern paper that's already on the page. I love this ampersand, so I'm just going to float it down here on the background paper. Just adds a bit of a graphic feel to this page, which otherwise has lots of florals and stuff. So I like to bring in a little graphic element to balance off all of the pretty flowers. And now I'm going to take a number of these word and phrase stickers from the sticker set. The first one here that's blue says complete bliss. Then I'm adding that golden one that says together. This red one that I'm layering with the ampersand says embrace it all. I have another one here that says live large, and I'm just going to put it down by the cat. And this blue one here says cherish every day. I'm going to layer it with the red label. And I need one more. I'm just going to put, this one says real life, and oh, nope, that's a golden one that I decided not to use. I'm going to use this gray one that says real life and layer it with the blue sticker. I changed my mind there because I just wanted there was golden already behind it where the little bit of the scallop border is showing through. I just wanted something with higher contrast. My journaling here on the top says Annabelle and Bailey went to prom, and then the second label says together and met up with their friends who all had matching homemade corsages by Bailey. So here's my thought process with this page as it comes together. As you can see, it's almost done and it looks great the way it is. It's very soft. It has a very different look. It's high contrast to the other pages that will be before it and after it in my project, like in my album. However, of course, I can't leave well enough alone. It is perfectly fine the way that it is, but I feel like I want it to have a little bit more boldness to it. So certainly what I'm about to do next is not necessary. And in fact, I think that it looks great just the way that it is. And I could have just stopped here. But take a look at what else I did and let me know what you think. So I started with saying, well, what can I add? Because adding black will add some boldness to this for sure. And I love these letters, and I think they're kind of like edgy compared to the other things on this page are pretty classic. And so I thought adding an edginess to it. And so I added the year, and I thought, let's just forget about the fact that 2023 Sweet does not make sense as a title. Let's think about Sweet as an embellishment instead of part of the title. And I liked adding the 2023 and then the 3 little stars around the page just to add some black in a few different places. And it was looking nice and soft. And I thought that does, now those things just look like they stand out for no good reason. Like they were added just for the sake of adding them. So I thought what might really tie this whole thing together is if I were to matte the photo, double matte it so that it was matted not just in the craft, but also in black. I'm going to have to use my scissors to cut this by hand because I already have a sticker there. So I'm going to have to cut around the sticker and matte this photo like that. And I really like how that looks. I think that that does add quite a bit of pop to the page. It directs your attention to the photo, and it makes the other black elements that I just added feel a little bit more at home on this page. So what do you think though? Because it's not for everyone, but I think that that page just feels more like me now. The other page, like before I added the pops of black, it just felt like it was another page that someone else made or that I just kind of made just for the sake of making a different page. And I wanted it to feel more like my own, but I also wanted it to still be soft because I think that those girls' dresses really needed a soft layout with lots of blues and creams and those sorts of things. So I think I pulled it off, but tell me what you think of it. I added a little bit of string on the 3, and I wanted it to almost look like you've tied some string around your finger to remember something, because 2 days later or a few days later, Annabelle actually hopped on a plane to go back home to Germany. So these girls really only have their memories together now because they're not going to get to see each other for a very long time. So that's what the string is for. It's meaningful. I like to sometimes I put things on my layouts just for the design, but sometimes it has meaning, and that one has meaning. I took the confetti mix that came in the main kit for the Brighter Days kit, and I just sprinkled little bits of it in 4 different places. Basically a visual triangle around the main clusters, and I also put a little bit up here in the top secondary cluster as well. I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi adhesive to glue these down. This is really good adhesive for gluing paper to non-paper, and so it's my adhesive of choice for sequins and confetti pieces and little bits and acrylic things and whatnot. I'm just using my fingers. You can use a craft pick or tweezers, but I find that I'm better with my fingers than I am with any other kind of tool, so this is what I do. It makes it a little harder for you, the viewer, to see it because my hand gets in the way of placing it. So sometimes I use a tool anyways, just so that you can see better in the video. But today I'm just using my fingers because this is the 5th layout that I made in the one setting. So I am about ready to pack it in at this point. And when you're placing your sequins or confetti pieces, don't be afraid to put 2 of them kind of close together because that makes it look natural. I've got 2 that are the same that are side by side, and that's the way they fell. So I just left them that way because it looks nice and natural. When everything is all spaced out evenly, it doesn't really look like it's a natural cluster. So that's why I left it like that. Now I'm leaving these last few minutes of footage in place so that you can see my thought process here. This is something that I thought about doing but decided not to do. So I was going to outline the outer edges of the sequins, and I wasn't sure how that would look. I wanted it to have like a bit of a doodly look to the sequins. And so I wasn't sure how it would look. So I grabbed the strip from my garbage, that is the strip that I cut off of this paper in order to mat it. And I experimentally glued a couple of sequins on there and then played around with outlining them. And I didn't like how it looked. Firstly, it's textured paper, so you get like a pretty wobbly outline, and either it was too thick or too thin, and I could have experimented with different pens to see. My plan was to outline not all of them, but just some of them, and then also put a couple of tiny little hand-drawn circles in there too, just amongst the sequins. But I decided that I didn't want to try that on this page. I'll put that idea aside for maybe another page someday. Let me know in the comments below if you doodle on your pages and if you're a risk taker or if you're a person who plays it safe with doodles. Now, in a few minutes, you're going to see a screen of all of my Patreon supporters, so I wanted to give a quick shout out to them. These folks help make my channel happen, so big thanks to all of them. Patrons get early ad-free access to all of my videos and real-time unedited versions of my videos, as well as monthly live stream, behind-the-scenes videos of my room and my process. So thanks to them, and here they're coming up right now. Big thanks to them, and thanks to you too for watching all the way to the end. I'll encourage you to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video, whether you're a risk taker in your pages or not, and here are the places that you can reach me on social media. I'd really appreciate if you give this video a like and subscribe to my channel as well, because it helps my video be seen by more people so it can continue to grow. Thanks so much for everything that you do to support me, and have a really great scrappy week.